This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
A text cannot be confronted without such assistance. Above all, it is a book to be read with humility, which is, of course, difficult for modern people who so highly prize healthy skepticism. But the truth of it is that no translation, however scholarly, can convey the breadth of meaning of the original Hebrew. Perhaps this is never more apparent than in the image of God that lies at the heart of the text. The Jewish sages taught that the prophets could perceive the God of Israel only through a clouded glass, while Moses had been able to do so through clear glass. Thus we learned that there is always a barrier between mankind and God, and the less we know, the more darkened the glass becomes, so that, as with all dark glass, we frequently mistake our own reflection for that which is on the other side. Those today who look to the Torah for a clear definition of the God of Israel will do so in vain. Indeed, God says to Moses, "None can see my face and live." While God is to be found in every line, it is not always the same God, just as the hands which wrote the lines were not always the same hand. The God of the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is different for each of them. That is to say, a different facet is revealed. The God of the burning bush, whose name YHVH is less a noun than an allusion to the ever-present nature of Adonai, is not the same God whose petulance at the creation of a golden calf is overcome by the sophistry of Moses. The God of the Torah is less likely to be found in theology or mythology than in the commandments generated by a consciousness of the divine relationship with the people of Israel. God is not to be found in the all-too-oft-quoted eye for an eye commandments, but in the commandment that extraordinarily is to be found most frequently in the Torah: love the stranger as yourself. The essence of the God of Torah is to be found not in creed, but in deed. That is to say, the God of the Torah is to be found in deeds of righteousness. To speak of the origins of the Torah is, for Orthodox Jews, to speak of the moment on Sinai, when Moses received not only the 2 tablets of stone, but the written Torah dictated to him by the God of the Exodus, and all the oral interpretations that were to be the substance of rabbinic teaching in subsequent generations. The Bible itself, however, speaks of books that appear to predate the Torah, such as the book of Yashar and the books of the Wars of the Lord, neither of which has survived. Certainly from around the 13th century BCE, which is the general period in which Moses is placed, to the first hints of written texts in the 10th century BCE, it is clear that books such as these, as well as the oral poetic traditions of the people of Israel, were the means by which the core of the Torah was preserved. Some of the evidence of the earlier oral tradition is to be found in the fragments of songs that can still be detected within the body of the Torah. For modern biblical scholarship, the Torah did not achieve its present literary form until the 5th century BCE, with the return of the exiles from Babylon. Having developed through the period of the first monarchy, the separation of Judah and Israel, the destruction of the first temple, and the Babylonian exile, it is clear that the Torah is not simply the 5 books of Moses, but a literary mosaic of the experience of the people of Israel through its first commonwealth and return from exile, as well as being the repository of its received prehistory. Scholars have detected 4 major strands which together form the 5 books of the Torah, variously labeled as the 10th century BCE J text, from the singular use of Yahweh or Jahweh for the name of God, the 8th century BCE E text, from the use of Elohim for God, the 6th century BCE D text, derived from the book of Deuteronomy, which was found during the reign of King Josiah and is imbued with the teachings of the prophets, and the 5th century BCE P text, which contains the major priestly codes incorporated after the Babylonian exile. Each of these texts has been interwoven one with another. Sometimes